Good evening, everybody. Please welcome back Matthew.
Good evening. Thanks for having me on again. Really excited for this one.
So we have been wanting to do more prospects content, and we're finally getting rolling with that. We started off with our graduation video for Joel Nystrom. One of my personal favorite prospects is, of course, Joel Nystrom. Today, we're going to talk about Matthew's far and away favorite prospect, Bradley Nadeau. If there is a person on earth who is saying, do not trade this man, it is this one.
It is yours truly.
And he has a pretty good argument about it. Matthew, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing so good. Thanks for having me on tonight. I'm so excited to talk about the best prospect in the Hurricane system by far. And that's not a put down of anyone else in our system. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Bradley Nadeau is the best player outside of the NHL today. I don't know if you consider that a hot take, but I think I can back it up.
Not really, because if he was in any other organization where he had room,
he'd be playing
to move up. He'd already be in the NHL.
Yeah, and like the current draft class that is coming up, that of some very, very good players. Of course, Gavin McKenna, when he's not punching people who insult his mother.
Guy had it coming.
Yeah, fair enough. And of course, other nice blue chip prospects that are going to be out there. Tynan Lawrence, Ivar Stenberg. Those are going to be fantastic players. And they may even exceed Bradley Nadeau when all is said and done. But not right now. Right now, Nadeau is the best player outside of the NHL. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about why. Let's talk about the show, as he is known in Chicago. Nadeau the show. He has just been insane. He's having an insane year. And we need to create room for him, frankly, in our lineup. And it's getting to the point, I know we've spoke about this in the past, where I don't want to trade him at all. Like, not even for someone as Robert Thomas, who I will admit is exactly what the Hurricanes need. Nadeau continues to amaze me. And we're going to go over some clips and look at some tape later on of just the perfect play. And I like the perfect play. Let me ask you this. Do you want another Seth Jarvis on the team?
I would love to have another Seth Jarvis on the team.
How many of those do you think we could use? How many of those do you think you can have on an NHL squad before it becomes redundant? I guarantee you it's not 2.
No, I would say 4.
Yeah, at least.
And that's how many you need.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I think Bradley Nadeau is he's looking a lot like Seth Jarvis. We're going to watch a clip where he looks like basically just the exact copy of a play that we've seen Seth Jarvis make. And except his shot is even a little bit better. Let's put it that way. I know we spoke about Nadeau as well in our prospects wrap up or half season kind of update there. And since then, he's only put up even more goals and more points. So let's just briefly go over this. As of today, with 39 AHL games, Bradley Nadeau has 21 goals, 24 assists for 45 points. And he's just continued to go at a blistering pace. The AHL is so beneath him. It's so obvious. And I'm just going to kind of refresh everyone's memory of why we drafted him. Here was Darren York on the night we drafted Bradley Nadeau. It says, Bradley Nadeau, our first-round selection, probably the best way to describe him is that he just scores goals. It's pretty remarkable the types of goals he was able to score this year. Catch and shoot, scoring from distance, backhand, forehand. And on top of that, he's incredibly hard to play against. So you have this blend of competitiveness. You have this blend of high-end offensive player that fits exactly with what we want from our players. Now, I love that Darren York said that even back in 2023, because for a long time we thought, oh, he's just a shooter. He's just a pure sniper. No, he is a lot more than that. He's not just a one-timing threat, although he's definitely got that in his arsenal.
We've got a couple of that here.
We've got a couple of that we will show. But, I mean, this guy's scoring Michigans. This guy's scoring Svechnikov goals now. And his vision has been outstanding. And his forecheck, his back checking, and which we will see all of it coalesce into the perfect play in a clip later tonight that we'll watch. But he's also killing penalties. He's on the top penalty kill unit for Chicago. He is their go-to player for every situation. And so is Seth Jarvis in terms of a winger. He plays in all situations and excels in all situations. And that's exactly what Bradley Nadeau is doing. And just read a little bit of his initial scouting report before he was drafted. So this is from Elite Prospects that I got. And it says, the power that Nadeau creates off his shot is not only downright terrifying to witness in person, but also awe-inspiring from a mechanical point of view. He's effectively stacked more nuance and deception to make it an even more dangerous threat. From his curl and drag attempts around sprawling defenders to his angle-changing release, Nadeau's arms are always separated from his body, leveraging the full force of his upper body, leveraging down the stick. A ridiculous one-time threat. Nadeau wired pucks off the left-hand circle all season, shifting and setting his feet, powering through the puck at proper timing, all while dropping his whole body through the slot. And we're going to see another clip of that, which is like just perfect description of everything that he can do. The creation off these shots was key to the Penticton V's attack. That was his team during the draft year. If Nadeau doesn't score, crease crashers cleaned up the rebound, often too hard to handle for a contingent of opposing goaltenders. And much of Nadeau's shooting success is born from his off-puck game, working to the soft ice to fire off the pass reception. His feet are always moving in an attempt to outpace and confuse defenders. He attacks and eats up available space. And then a crossover scout, Daniel G. writes, Nadeau is a looming shark out there. He floats on the peripheries, then strikes without mercy. He plays with an almost unnatural sense of urgency across his shifts, looking to create quickly in order to fully break down defensive structures. And this was back in 2023. He has only gotten so much better. And I think Canes hold on to him. He will be every bit as good as Seth Jarvis is. Possibly, but just with a few more goals.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah. And so I really don't want to trade him. I wanted to get this video in now before something like that does happen.
I don't think he's going to get traded. I'm actually more of the mindset that the Canes are not looking to make. I don't think they're going to make a move. I mean, that's a discussion for another day, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
Another video. And well, that as it may, I definitely wanted to get this video in now before the trade deadline. He is without a doubt the best player outside of the NHL, the best prospect in terms of what he can bring to a team today. He's frankly, he's all but graduated. The only reason he has not graduated is the Hurricanes' depth, and the fact that Brendan Morris is loyal to a fault to the current roster.
I agree.
And so I'm ready to look at some tape if you are, Brendan.
All righty. Can you see them at the bottom, or do I need to pull them up?
Not at the moment.
Okay, I'll have to pull them up then. You don't have the ability to add them to the stage. All righty. So here's the first one.
Goals enter back in. Unger Sorum. Rink wide. Nadeau shoots. He scores! The show has two. The game's tied at 2 in period number 2.
Stop the tape.
20th goal to make a line change, but he's
stop it. You stop. Yeah. So is that not a what did we just read? Dropping his proper timing, dropping his whole body through the shot.
Okay, so let's look at that frame by frame then. We'll turn the sound off. Okay, so, and we talked a little bit about his off-puck routes. And thank you, Hockey Psychology, for that term. Off-puck routes during power play are important because the other team's in a completely defensive posture while they're killing a penalty.
Look at the space. Look at the space. I wish I had like the kind of the John Madden chalk, but look at the space around.
I'm working on making something like that for us. We can't use it with StreamYard. We'll have to find another way, but I have an app for that. I just haven't taken the time to learn how to use it yet.
Yeah. So obviously, like Unger Sorum does a great job here, drawing attention. And see, look at this. Look at this. Look at the mechanics there. Down to one knee with all the hip torsion, the flex in that stick, and there's a decent net front presence. Now the goalie sees the shot. He's prepared to move. I mean, it's always a great when you can find a cross-seam pass, obviously on a power play. This will not always be available to him through an NHL penalty kill. But still, it'll happen. It'll happen a decent amount of times. And this is just everything about this is unstoppable. Like even though he sees it, he's got no shot.
He's not even through. His follow-through is not even done yet when this puck goes in. Let's look at this again. Okay. So he's got the puck's already in the net right here.
Yep. The puck is past him.
He's not even finished with his follow through yet.
Yeah,
he's down on one knee. He's using all of his body weight, and he doesn't weigh a ton. He's only, 178, I think.
Yeah, he's added a little bit muscle since his draft year, but yeah.
That was the one thing I was worried about with him making the jump to the Canes, but if he's put on some muscle, then I'm not going to worry so much.
He did a lot of that at Maine when so that really, really helped his development there.
College hockey's the best environment to do that because all your games are on the weekend, so you can dedicate your week basically to all the off-ice training that you want. So that's why I like developing guys through the NCAA pipeline, because they typically don't have weekday games and they can focus on the weight training.
As just a little bit of a tangent here, something I want to wax poetic about because we have time. One of the Hurricanes organization development strategies is, you've got a certain amount of resources that you can put in towards developing your draft picks. And the reason the Hurricanes can do the trade back thing and acquire and get a lot of picks and get all these players is because they know that if they, especially for the European players, they get to develop there without your organization having to do any work. And likewise with the NCAA, their program is going to be able to strengthen those players for you. And that has paid dividends. Of course, we have a lot of some of our best prospects are playing and have played in the NCAA recently. Jackson Blake is someone you can just say consider.
Hobie Baker finalist Jackson Blake.
Right. That's right.
He lost to Macklin Celebrini, so he wasn't going to win that no damn way.
And speaking of Macklin Celebrini, we all got to see his shot in the Olympics. You can see, someone who got left out. You see Connor Bedard's shot. Nadeau's is better. And I don't think it's a stretch at all to say that Nadeau will push for Team Canada in 2030.
I can see it. I mean, if he plays well enough, he could maybe,
as long as he gets an opportunity.
Hockey.
Yeah, that's also true. And because I think he'll have a good solid 3 NHL seasons to make his case.
Mm-hmm.
And it might even start, a lot sooner than that. Frankly, it should.
Let's take another look at this here.
It's just you could watch this all day. I mean, this is going to score a lot of goals.
So there's one thing I want to point out here. He's not totally in the Ovechkin office. I like the fact he's not moving his feet, but he's gliding down into position here. He's not totally parallel with Unger Sorm, because if he was, he wouldn't have that good of a seam pass to him. And he drifts a little bit to where he's like right here above the hash marks and everything, right inside the circle. If he drifts down a little bit too far here, that pass gets a lot harder for Unger Sorm to make from his current position. So like that's the importance of off puck routes that we're talking about and everything like that. This is a great spot for him to be. So he drifts a little bit more, and then he steps into it at the right time, not a moment too soon, because if he steps into that too early, he fans on that shot. If he steps into it too late, he never gets possession of the puck to take the shot. So we'll rewind it just a little bit here again.
And something else that we all know, but just to articulate it, great goal scorers have sometimes it seems superhuman ability to just go invisible at times. And to be fair, an NHL penalty kill will probably do a better job. I guess the weak side defenseman there definitely collapses way too much towards Unger Sorm.
Yeah,
and he needs to get out and mark this one-timing threat that Nadeau is.
Yeah, that guy right there, the one that's to the top of whoever that is at the net front presence there.
Right, the top of the diamond there. And
if he's out here covering Nadeau like he's supposed to, he can nullify Nadeau entirely if he goes just about halfway up the circle. Then Nadeau never gets that shot. But part of the reason that Nadeau was able to get that shot was because, like this defenseman right here, he's in kind of an awkward spot because Nadeau's not being overly aggressive with trying to get to the front of the net. Otherwise, that makes his job a little bit easier as far as covering Nadeau. He has to think twice. Do I want to go up and cover him? Do I risk leaving a 3-on-3 situation down here with one guy, two guys up at the point? Or do I stay where I'm at? So he's kind of in no man's land here in this situation. But Nadeau makes it worse on him by just gliding in here, not being overly aggressive with getting to the net, and he steps into the shot at the perfect time. So it's like Unger Sorm makes the pass. As soon as it comes off his tape, Nadeau's timing his stepping into the shot. That's perfect. Like that's one of those things that, like, you can teach a lot of things in the game, but having that hockey IQ to know that because if you're a split second off with your timing stepping into a shot, and I know this because I'm bad at shooting pucks, if you're a split second off at your timing in this situation, you either fan on the puck or you never get it at all, or it goes behind you.
Yep.
He couldn't have done that any better.
And he like totally, I don't know if anyone here, if you know, you know, but he totally like cast invisibility on himself. He was just an assassin right there.
Yeah.
No one saw him coming. And he was just sitting there at the blue line, waiting for the zone entry. And, so of course we know at the NHL, all this gets harder, but we still see plays like this. And it speaks for itself. What more can you say?
Yeah,
Get this shot on our team
one more time. Yeah, and it's like I want to see.
The goalie had no
Idaho,
chance. The goalie saw he moved over. In fact, he even saw. I think he saw it a little bit early. Now crossing attempts are always hard to stop for a goalie, but he had no chance.
No, even if he'd gotten over all the way, he probably would have went too far going post to post, and then it goes in anyway. Yeah, that was just unreal. The shot that this guy has is insane. It's his best asset, but like we've talked about, it's not his only one, but it is his primary one.
Just for our audience, it's difficult to get. I mean, we get all the highlights. The highlights are more easy to find than just kind of the nuts and bolts of where his game has really improved. One thing I didn't mention is that, and that shame on me because this is something we have to mention here, is that last year for the Wolves, Nadeau was a minus 22. That was his first pro year, like full-time pro year.
And the Wolves were bad.
And the Wolves were, they weren't that great. They were very meh. And so you could clearly see, the production was there, but you could definitely see he had some work to do. And I know plus minus, we all know it's a flawed stat, but when you see things like this, when you see the contrast that I'm about to tell you, this is where you can actually say, okay, yeah, he's definitely improved a lot. He is a plus 23. Right now.
That's a drastic change you can take note of.
The plus 23 in one season. He's doing something right.
No, that's worth taking note of. Like you said, plus, and we're also talking about the fact he's evolved to be an all situations player. And as you know, plus minus, part of the reason I don't like that stat is if you get for example, that power play goal he just scored, that doesn't go towards his plus side. That's part of the reason why plus minus is such a flawed stat. Either make it even strength only, or make it all situations, because you're either a net positive or you're not. The lack of power play production at times, as we have seen with the Hurricanes, has cost them playoff series. So you either contribute or you don't in any given situation. So speaking of 5-on-5, we have a 5-on-5 goal here.
With 0.2 of a second left in the first. Here's Nadeau shoots. He scores.
See, this is where he had to settle it a little bit. It was a nice bang chance off a turnover, but it didn't matter. His shot is just too damn good.
Well, see, that's one thing to highlight, though, the fact that it was off a turnover, because the Hurricanes force a lot of those, and there's a lot of times that they force those chances and they don't finish on them. This is someone who can potentially finish on a higher percentage of chances than some of the guys we have on the team with the Hurricanes right now. That's not a knock against them. It's just this kid's talented.
Yeah, and you saw like the reaction time. We've seen it plenty of times where we get that turnover, like quick turnover chance, and it's fanned on, or he's got to settle it too much and he can't get the shot off quite away or quite as quick as he'd like. Even though Nadeau does take like a fraction of a second to settle this, it is still pretty darn quick.
Well, if he doesn't settle this puck, he doesn't get this type of shot off. So he's roaming right there. He's at the circle. He's in his office. And he's stepping with the play, too. He's staying not completely parallel with the position of the puck, but enough to where he's in the vicinity to get it if it comes towards him. There it goes right there.
Boom.
Yeah, he makes the most of that situation because he doesn't overcommit to trying to forecheck on this guy. Because let's go back here for a second. So, okay, let's go back right here. Let me get exactly where I want it. Okay, let's say he does get possession of the puck here. Nadeau's still in a good position to pressure him to try and reduce the quality of that zone exit, right? But since he's not, overcommitting on the forecheck here, which a lot of the Hurricanes players do just because that's the DNA of the team. Nadeau's one of those guys that needs to be permitted to operate outside of the system a little bit to be effective. I'm hoping that that's something the coaching staff is going to recognize when he's in the Hurricanes lineup eventually. Because right here, he can still deny a zone exit or at least reduce the quality of it. All he has to do is cut across the middle of the ice here. Or if the puck goes up, these two guys on the breakout, he can commit to either one of them that he needs to.
Nadeau should not do a whole lot of chasing behind the net.
I agree.
He should be the F3 for most of our structure. He can get in on the forecheck, but he should be the F3 kind of, he should be the trigger man for when, Jackson Blake goes and hunts down the puck and then gets it to him. And he can still provide, back pressure through the neutral zone, which he's good at. But yeah, so that's why I think we don't have to really change up the system a whole lot in order to effectively use him.
No,
it's just I think he should be when they're on the forecheck, he should be F3 most of the time.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he was in this play too. Because so you look right here.
Yep.
Let's see. So that's Robidas.
Exactly what he was.
Yeah, he was exactly the F3 because Robidas the F2. Who's that down in the corner there? I'm trying to see. That's
Suzuki.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's exactly where he needs to be. And then Robidas here was already reloading. So, Nadeau transitioned from roving F3 to shooting F2, and Robidas was already covering that lane in the event that puck started to come out. So if Nadeau is going to commit to these good off-puck routes and not overcommit on the forechecking and everything, I know that that's a sin to talk about with the Carolina Hurricanes, but there's some players, and, I've talked about this particularly with Svechnikov, for example, and when he was still in Carolina, Natchez was another guy I talked about with this. They need to be allowed to kind of be a hybrid of what the Hurricanes' identity, what their DNA is, and what they are as players. They can still operate effectively within the system. But in a situation like this, let me go back to it. In a situation like this, I want Bradley Nadeau exactly where the hell he is. I don't want him, just crashing the net arbitrarily.
Pressed up on the defender. It's good here. So Robidas forces the turnover, and he is in the right spot at the right time, and he makes no mistake. And you can see all the mechanics of the shot are there again. That one-timer is just scary. It is a terror to behold.
Yeah.
And it's gonna give goalies fits. It is no goaltender is going to enjoy having to face that shot.
All right, and then we got another.
And it's accurate too. It's heavy, it's accurate, it's just everything about it is perfect.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about these sticks nowadays. You can be a stick figure and still have a crazy shot. It's more about the mechanics than the strength nowadays. It's being able to utilize what you use correctly. See, that's another thing I want to see, what type of stick he uses. Because that's actually something worth discussing. He uses, that looks like a jet speed, so it's a hybrid kick point, which makes sense for him.
That's your wheelhouse. I'll let you go on that.
Okay, so what it is with using a hybrid kick point. So, and I've had hybrid kick point sticks. I really like them. So basically, the kick point is the part in the stick where it flexes at, right? With hybrid kick point sticks, you essentially have two kick points in it, and depending on how you distribute your hands on the shaft, how you lean into it with your body weight and everything like that, kind of dictates which one of those kick points activates. That's lethal in his hands because it looks like a jet speed stick that he's using, which is a hybrid kick point. And with him having the power that he can put into it and the accuracy he can put into it, it makes sense why he doesn't sail it over the net too often from having a really low kick point stick like a Ribcore or a Vapor Flylight or something like that. Things like that they're just like, oh, it's just a hockey stick. No, that makes a ton of difference for any player having something that they're comfortable with in that regard. So,
yeah, I don't think he ever shoots it high. He sometimes if he misses, it'll be wide.
I want to know what flex he uses. I'd rather it be wide than high because you're more likely than to retrieve a wide puck and make something out of that than a high one. So, and we got another one here.
Expected the start that they had. No. Here's Bradley Nadeau. He has a breakaway. In, shoots, he scores! As the show gets the Wolves on the board this afternoon.
Stop tape. frankly, it doesn't quite do it justice. I don't know if can you write back a couple seconds before that?
I don't think they expected the start that they had.
There it is. And even a little bit before that, he was on his man. He was stuck to him like in his hip
poke check.
Yeah. And he was hunting. He was like on the in the D zone coverage. It was flawless. He was hunting that man. He thinks he's going to go down the slot, walk down right on Broadway. Nope. And in his hip pocket, perfectly timed sweep check, and he's off to the races.
Now, another thing I want to point out here, as far as the defensive side of things goes, look at the posture that he's in. He's not upright. He's able to get a little bit more reach by being down as low as he is, because he's almost in a lunging position, right? Where he's bent really far forward with the front knee and the back leg is kicked all the way straight out. So that gives him that extra 1 or 2 inches to be able to get that puck. That's an important mechanic to notice, because there's a lot of guys who don't have that type of reach naturally because he's not very big, right? He's only 5'10", but 5'11". But yeah, he's still, and then also the length of your arms makes a difference, because I have T-Rex arms, so I know that struggle. And it's like he's got that extra bit of reach there because he's using his posture correctly. He's getting that extra reach not because of his arm length or his height. He's making up for the lack of that with the posture that he has there of flexing that right knee all the way forward using the... So another thing to notice here with the back of his skate, you can't really tell in the video, but I imagine that the skate blade is not currently on the ice in this situation. I bet you he's balancing on the toe cap of the skate. If not, he is balancing on the very front of his steel on the skate. And that makes a big difference in small weight, or that's a small difference that pays big dividends, I'll say, in situations like that, because if he doesn't posture himself that way, he's not getting this extra reach. So he gets that extra reach there, pokes it away, and look at the speed that he takes off with. The follow-up play here is like what makes this impressive. So we'll watch this again. Good stick, good poke check, and then immediately he steps into it. I'm going to try and do this frame by frame if it'll let me. Quick turn.
Yeah.
1 step over, 2 steps over, 3 steps over. He's off to the races.
Yeah. There was no chance. No one was catching him. And then,
not to mention,
slap shot to finish. He can just,
Look at this other thing, though. He knows he's made all this time and space for himself. So he doesn't have to hurry up this chance here. Everything is on his terms until the time he shoots this puck. So you'll notice he's off to the races at first. He gets to the blue line. He realizes he's all alone. And that's that whole having the eyes in the back of your head type of thing. And knowing that, like, I've got time to do stuff with this puck. I don't have to worry about somebody. It's like we saw it in when in the gold medal game when who was it that got on the breakaway and Hellebuck got Connor McDavid. It was Celebrini. Celebrini got on the breakaway, but Brock Faber, even though he ultimately didn't directly affect the play, was okay. Like, look at where Nadeau is. Brock Faber was where the All-State sign is. Huh?
He was about the blue line. Yeah.
He was about at the blue line. That reduces the amount of time that Celebrini has to make something happen with that puck. In the case here with Nadeau, he can take as much time as he wants, and that makes this chance a lot more dangerous.
But he doesn't slow down either. Because in a breakaway, and of course, AB can tell us all about this, the goaltender has to come out and then retreat, and he's got to match the speed.
And he never had a chance to do that.
The goaltender never had a chance. Nadeau was too fast. And here's another thing. We can talk about speed all day. There's some players that are incredibly fast. There's some players that have great hands. But speed with the puck is the rare commodity. And he picked it up and had time to make it. How many moves? I guess we could look at it again. I think it was at least 4. When he starts 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Yeah. That's another important thing to note is having the speed with the puck, because to some players, the puck is an anchor. With him, it doesn't appear to be the case.
Natchez had this problem. Natchez is faster than McDavid, but McDavid has speed with the puck.
Mm-hmm.
Natchez did not, and he does not. And so that's something that's really, really, I'm like salivating here. I'm like, get this guy on the big club, because, oh my goodness. Like, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom.
Faster than you can describe it.
Yeah. Glove side had the goalie fooled. There was no chance. He carved him up. He carved up the entire opposition there. The Colorado Eagles, he just made them all look stupid.
We'll watch that one more time. And another thing to note, so when he goes to do this takeaway here, one thing I want to note, he's not anywhere within this defenseman's visible range, right? He's not even in his peripheral. So he's like, this is cool because if he's too far to the inside right here, if he's to his left, that defenseman has the ability to hit the brakes and go around him where that Coors Light sign is. He can hit the brakes right here and go right over that Coors Light sign and go back to the middle.
Or make the safe play and go to his partner. But he never gets a chance to do that because Nadeau's in the perfect spot and he's in his blind spot on top of that. It's kind of like when you're driving your car and you're trying to change lanes and there's somebody that's like right there on your quarter panel. Yeah. He's right in that perfect spot there to be able to use his reach that he created this situation for himself. Use his reach, poke, gone. And the finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. Like
that is
we've seen Seth Jarvis do this. Like, tell me he doesn't look like a carbon copy of Seth Jarvis right there.
No,
that's
exactly
a Jarvis play.
So I'm going to upload the 4th of the 5 clips we have of him. Where'd it go?
Is this the fun one?
Trying to find it. I know I uploaded it. Oh, wait. I know why it's not showing that. Hold on.
What a player. What a player.
Sharp early. The Wolves with the jump now. 4 shots on goal. And Celia shot. Comesso. Sharp early. The Wolves with the jump now. 4 shots on goal. Nadeau touch pass in front. Suzuki sweeping in. Evan Fitzgerald. They score!
Just because why not?
Bradley Nadeau. I believe in Carolina.
And you know the fact, you know what makes this more impressive? This one right here.
It was on the move.
Look at how bad this puck is bouncing when he scoops it up. Like, I don't know if he uses a ton of wax or not, but
and he did it on the move. And Svechnikov can do it on the move too, but it's still obviously easier to do this when you're stationary.
Yeah, so he steps into it here.
He steps into
it. It's bouncing on him a little bit. That is insane. And the cool thing about it is, listen to what the broadcasters are saying about this, about how he would have got tuned up for this a few years ago, and they're absolutely right.
And it's 1-0 Wolves.
It's also been known to be the Michigan goal. Is that correct?
Yeah, Michigan the first.
The Michigan goal. I can't believe this ever happened initially, but look at that.
Look at that. He picked it up out of midair.
That's what I'm saying. It was bouncing.
It was out of midair. Boom. Midair. Like,
it's also been
ridiculous. And see, in order to do this, you got to be better than just a shooter to do this. You have to have hands. You have to have insane coordination. And
see, it's on its edge right there.
Yeah, it's on its edge, and he picks it up off the hop. What?
You can't teach that. That's
insane.
Just God-given talent.
It is insane. And I get it. This is fun. And, you don't see Michigans every day in the NHL. Svechnikov, I think, has 3 of the 4 that have actually been successfully done. And so, it's not that I expect to see this play a lot at the NHL level, but still.
It's fun to see.
It's fun to see the fact that he is able to do it.
Because let's see, Svechnikov has 3. I think Forsberg has 1 and Bedard has 1. So I think there's been 5.
There's been 5. Okay, fair.
I think. I could be wrong about that. But that's just absolutely insane. And then there's not much to break down with that one. It's just fun.
It's just fun. It's just the raw talent. Don't trade this guy. Don't trade him.
He stays on as the Wolves enter back in. Unger Sorum.
Oh, wait, no, we already had that one. So we only had 4.
Yeah.
So,
okay, fair. No, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so let's take a quick break, about 5 minutes, and then we'll get back to it and we'll talk about them some more. And if we want to pull up some stats, we can do that. You just tell me what you want. Everybody, we will be right back. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Sure.
righty. All right, Matthew, what else you got, buddy?
Oh, well, in terms of stats, we basically went over everything. The plus minus was definitely something I wanted to mention, and just believe me when I tell you, all of our viewing audience, that his defensive play has gotten so much better. I mean, we did see it a little bit there, of course, on the breakaway chance that he created for himself. If he doesn't make that play, that defenseman's walking down Broadway for a pretty good scoring chance. And so we see it all the time. Defense leads to offense, and he's not. We see obviously the ridiculous mechanics and the scary power of his shot, but he's not just a shooter. Whereas frankly, I think he's ahead of Connor Bedard in this area. Connor Bedard's not going to kill any penalties anytime soon.
Mm-mm.
And Macklin Celebrini probably will be killing penalties at some point. I'll give that to him if he hasn't already. I don't watch enough Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
But Celebrini, I think, is going to be a better player than Bradley Nadeau. But I think it's not all that far off. I think he's every bit as good as someone like Connor Bedard, and frankly, I think like another Seth Jarvis, except with a better shot.
Yeah, that one clip we showed where he made the defensive play, I think, is indicative of how much more complete his game is now versus before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the only question is can we figure out a way to get him on the team? And because he can help, I think he can help the team now. I mean, we talked about trading for someone like Patrick Laine, or even someone like Panarin.
I'd rather just bring Nadeau up.
I'd rather just bring Nadeau up.
Patrick Laine is more of a, Patrick Laine is a shooter and a shooter only at this point.
Right.
There's not much else to him. There's
nothing else he's going to do.
There's much more complete of a player there.
And, I get it. I get it. Like, do you want to trust a rookie like this fresh in the playoffs? Yes, I do. I would trust Bradley Nadeau to make the correct defensive play more than I trust Patrick Laine. Mm-hmm. More than I trust Artemi Panarin.
Oh, and by the way, one other thing I think I'm going to do, because his dad follows me, I think I'm going to send him this stream. I'll send him. I think I'm going to send him a link to it, because I want the world to know that you and I are both very big Bradley Nadeau fans. There is a lot of good to this guy's game. He's more. A lot of people talk about his shot all the time. They talk about his goal scoring ability all the time. What I'm hoping we've showed here, there's a much more complete player there. And this is not the last thing that we're going to do about him. Mm-hmm. I personally, minus a legit organizational need, and even then I'd be reluctant. I don't think we should trade him. I don't think the Hurricanes should trade him.
Frankly, he would have to be included in any deal for Robert Thomas. I think we know that. Mm-hmm. And Robert Thomas would be perfect for this team. But I would prefer, and this might be heresy to some Canes fans, but I would prefer actually going after not as good a center like Trocheck or Pettersson and keep Nadeau. Mm-hmm. And just because he is insane. He is insane good. I am sick of everyone sleeping on him. I'm sick of the rest of the hockey world sleeping on him.
And they always want to include him in trade packages, but then say that he's not that good.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Nikishin.
The same thing with Nicky. Yeah, we know this. And they always be like, oh yeah, they're just putting Nadeau in a trade for Trocheck. Get out of here. Miss me with that bullshit. That is complete and utter nonsense. I like Vinny. Vinny. And I'd love to have Vinny back. No way is he worth Nadeau. I just told you here, and I'll stick by this. Nadeau is every bit as good as Connor Bedard. At the very least, he's good as Connor Bedard. And Bedard's improved a lot this year. He's improved his other aspects.
Bedard's team around him also sucks.
That's true. Yeah, and that's why I think that
the Sharks have executed their rebuild a lot better than the Blackhawks have thus far.
Yes, they have. Like the Blackhawks taking Levshin off, that was a big mistake. That I digress on that part, but yeah. He's got just as good a shot as Connor Bedard does, and the other aspects of his game are more developed. Now, he's a bit older, so I guess Connor Bedard could still develop into a more well-rounded player. I don't think Bedard's best used at center. If they try to force him to play center, I think that's a mistake.
That's something I noticed about Hughes, that at the Olympics.
He
played much better at the wing.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and even on the defensive side of things, he was better at the wing too.
Right.
When he doesn't have all that excess defensive responsibility that a center normally has, it looked like his game really flourished that way.
Yep. And so that maybe you talk to Devil's Joint about that a little bit.
Him and I have been talking about a lot of stuff. He's been happy lately though, because he found this really cool stash of Devil stuff. He found like some newspaper articles where like they won the cup in 2003. He's got a gold Martin Brodeur coin now. He's super happy with a bunch of cool stuff he found. That guy by far, he's become a really good friend of mine. He's my favorite.
And I'd love to chat with him every now and then and just remind him.
Yeah, JJ's awesome. I love that guy.
How we've beaten his Devils like what 5 out of 6 series, I think. I think the only one we lost
at this point,
But yeah, so just to circle around to Nadeau, back to Nadeau here, like you can tell he is definitely a winger. Don't think he should be tried at center. I don't think he'd be able to thrive there.
Do not expect him to reinvent his game a whole lot. I want him to be what he is.
No need. And like just like and I do think though with Seth Jarvis, obviously he's playing the right side and perfectly effectively there. Nadeau plays the left side.
Yeah,
and
winger.
Yeah, and he really needs to not be anywhere else other than a right-handed left wing.
See, that's why I want to see him with Aho.
That's
why I want to see him with Aho and Svechnikov. Aho is good enough defensively to make up for the fact of playing with 2 offhanded wingers. Now, will his defensive numbers go down a little bit because of that? Yes. Would the ultimate net positive be bigger, though? I believe also, yes.
It's not affecting his ability to back check and to track down. It's like, because D-zone defense is about positioning. It's obviously about skating. And it's about awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need skating, you need positioning, so you got to be well coached. And they've coaching staff and has done a phenomenal job. You see the improvement. So it's about skating, which he's a very good skater. It's the coaching, and it's just the hockey IQ awareness. And again, so he cast invisibility essentially in the offensive zone. He did it in the defensive zone too. That defender had no clue. I mean, he knew that Nadeau was on him, but he had no clue that that could possibly happen.
It's hard to react to somebody who's like perfectly positioned in your blind spot like he was. That is very hard to do. A lot of players would be totally parallel with that guy in that situation just to try and angle him off from the net. No, that was very strategic on Nadeau's part, the way that he executed that play.
Got right in his hip pocket and stole his lunch.
Yep, and absolutely. That's all I got for tonight, my friend.
That's all for me too. These videos, I don't think they have to be super long to get done everything that we want to get done. Please don't trade him. Please don't trade him, Eric Tulsky.
I'm getting to be more and more I watch him play. I mean, I was never really on board with it to begin with, but now he's like in untouchable status for me. And then not to mention, I think the Canes have enough assets to where they could get something done without giving up him or Nikishin. And I get really tired of hearing Nikishin's name in all these.
No. Yeah. That's absolutely horrendous. Yeah. So if we can go after someone, go after, let's try to reunite with Trocheck. Let's go after Elias Pettersson, even with the bad contract. So we can get a deal done for a center that we do desperately need without giving up Nadeau. And I think that should be the path forward for the organization now. Even 2 months ago, I was probably said, hey, if we can get Thomas for Nadeau, I'd do it. Now, nope, don't want it. I'll keep Nadeau. Thank you very much.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. All right, my friend, that is it for me tonight. Do you have anything else?
That's it. I look forward to the next one.
All righty. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. The next video will probably be on Charles Alexis Legault. We don't know for sure yet. Since Nystrom has officially graduated, Legault will probably be the next defenseman covered. As far as goalies, AB, I think, is going to cover I don't think it was Miftakov. I think it was
Privo? No, Frolov.
No, it wasn't Frolov. It was the Czech guy.
Vondras.
Yeah, Jacob Vondras.
Yeah,
that's who it was. Yeah, because I was looking through my notes here, but I've also got like my school notes in here as well. So it's like where I've been doing that too. So I'm like having to flip through a bunch of different things here. But yeah, I think Jacob Vondras was going to be the first one he did. It was either him or Miftakov. I couldn't remember.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right,
here
everybody,
on
thank
the
you very much.
Morning Take podcast, Prospects Network.
Yep. And we will be back with you hopefully next week. We think we will do the Nadeau video. We'll get everything together for that. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next time.